Buff Nation.
Ugh.
Welcome into the DMVR post-game show. We are presented by Game Time. Guys, download the Game Time app. Use that promo code BUFFS when you sign up, and you will get $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. The Buffs just lost. What was the score even?
26-19.
26-19.
To the Oregon State Beavers. It was a late comeback attempt. The Buffs couldn't get it done. It was a frustrating game. A lot of headlines that led up to this game. Big takeaways. Who wants to start?
Man, why'd you look down here? Big takeaway. We are about to fall back for daylight savings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we have fallen back in Colorado football.
Yeah.
We are under 500, guys.
Yep.
For the first time all year.
First time all year we have had a losing record. 4-5.
What's your takeaway?
That is the takeaway.
All right.
I mean, you think about it, man. You put in the bye week. We've been at this thing 10 weeks, and it took 10 weeks for us to have a losing record.
Yep. My takeaway is that was frustrating as hell.
My takeaway is Shedeur is a goddamn warrior.
Well, I mean, that's facts. And he really is.
Well, then my other takeaway is this defense has really turned it up the last couple weeks.
And that's what makes this so frustrating. Because the two things that you just said combine to create what should be a victory.
A winning football team.
Yep.
One in the turnover margin again.
The defense bowed their backs once again. And while they had moments, including the last play before the first half and the end of the game, where they weren't up to snuff, 26 points is a winning number in the Pac-12 conference.
Yes, it is.
You should win every game where you only give up 26 points in the Pac-12 conference.
I really don't give a damn what conference it is. If you look at just us, our scoring average before we went in this on the snide, we were scoring more in that game.
Yeah.
Even when we lost.
I mean, to this day, even with this 19-point output today, they're still averaging more than 26 points a game this
So all we got to
season.
do is hit our average.
So
and you win tonight.
Just be average, and you win tonight. And that's what is so frustrating. Yeah. Because we know it's not Shedeur who's the problem. And, you know, my big takeaway is, unfortunately, Sean Lewis also was not the problem.
No.
And that doesn't mean that Coach Prime wasn't right for trying something, because as we talked about all over the last couple days, Coach Prime is a man of urgency. He's not going to sit back and wait for something to happen. He's going to go out and try to make something happen. Mm-hmm. And so he did what he had to do, because what happened in the second half of Stanford and the entire game against UCLA was unacceptable football.
Period. And you got to do something. You know, you literally have to do something if you're going to salvage this season. And let me say this about the co-coordinator change and it, quote unquote, not working tonight because we lost the game and the offense, just fizzled the whole game. It doesn't mean that the switch was wrong.
And again, Coach Prime was not wrong in trying something.
No.
Because this isn't the actual definition of insanity, but everyone wants to say the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and hoping it will change. That's not real, but it is fair to say that you should not try the same thing over and over again and hope something can change.
I don't know if it's insanity, but it's damn stupid.
So Coach Prime said, all right, I'm going to try something. Yeah. Well, it didn't work.
It didn't work tonight.
Well, it did not work tonight because there's not an answer for not being able to protect and not being able to open holes in the running game. And in the end, they had 11 designed rushes for 31 yards. 11 designed rushes for 31 yards. That is not a winning formula, and it won't work whether it's Sean Lewis calling the plays, whether it's Pat Shurmur calling the plays, whether it's Deion Sanders calling the plays, or whether it's Shedeur Sanders calling the plays.
Halftime, 5 first downs halftime, 1 of 8 third down conversions.
It's not going to work. And
in junior high football, high school football, college, SWAC, Pac-12, doesn't matter.
And everything that we talked about up until this game began was about the idea of making Oregon State think twice about what you were going to do on offense. You couldn't. And what's crazy is that Shedeur still went out there and went 24 of 39 for 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
So on the play calling, it was pretty much the same in my opinion.
It didn't feel that different to me.
It didn't feel too different. And honestly, I thought good plays were called in the first half. They just didn't execute.
That's what I was about to say, man. Like, and we have said, I have said this before. Sean Lewis was in a tough spot.
Yes.
Yes.
There's not a play you can call for ineptitude. Like, hey, I know what I'll do. These guys don't block, and I have the perfect play for non-blocking. That's not the way football works. And so Pat Shurmur tonight calling the plays has the same personnel that a Sean Lewis had.
Yep.
And you got to develop something with now 3 games left to where how do I maximize what these guys do well and stay away from what they don't do well? Because here's what we do know. This group of people, this football team, these athletes, these scholars, these student athletes, they can win. Mm-hmm. We've won. Mm-hmm. We've won 4 games, And so it's out there. But the crazy part for me, and I think I said it the other night, and I know we all chit-chat about it, the 4 games that we won, you could have easily lost. The 4 games that we lost, well, now 5, you could have easily won. You just don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, except Oregon. We lost Oregon. You just don't know what you're going to get, how it's going to show up performance. And one thing we haven't done all season long is play complementary football. Yep. The defense never puts the offense in a good position and special teams in the same position in the same game. One thing shows up, the other thing doesn't. In the past 2 weeks, the defense has teed it up perfectly for the offense.
Yep.
Look at what the score is at halftime here and halftime in L.A. Even with the fluke score at the end, even with the 14 points, you're still in the game, but you're not scoring.
There was, just so many plays to think back on. There was a screen to Dillon when they were in 5 wide early in the game, and it was a little hot coming out of Shedeur's hand, and it went right through Dillon's hands. Mm-hmm. And that dude he'd be still running if he caught that football.
Hankerson slipping.
That was a big play. That would have been massive.
There was nobody in front of him.
No.
And then the very next play, somebody else cleats failed him.
Yep.
That's happened too much at home for my taste.
Well, the turf kind of looks like shit too, honestly. So
how?
I don't know. Alyssa was talking about it when we were up there. It was just like dirt all along the middle of the hashes.
And Alyssa's a turf expert, so we gotta I trust her judgment. She knows turf.
It's wild to me because they have a great grounds crew here. And for whatever reason, the field all season has not taken the right way.
A lot of slipping on this field, yeah. Yep. Especially after Nebraska. After that,
that Hankerson slip. I'm not saying it was a touchdown, but that was a damn 30-yard run there.
And I actually don't think that one was a turf. I'd have to go back and look at it. To me, it looked like his feet just got tangled underneath him.
Well, he did that like 2 or 3 times tonight. Just fell over himself when he had chances to go pick up yardage. The Dillon one is the one that really – that was a touchdown. No one was going to catch him in the open field if he caught that football.
I'm glad you didn't say ball. Good job. You have really come a long way.
The opportunities were there tonight. The defense really put them in a position to make some plays. And I think in the second segment we should talk about the end of the first half.
Yep. Before that, though, quick shout out to our friends at Soul Savvy. Don't miss out on the biggest sneaker drops. And download the Soul Savvy Drops app. It'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, releases, raffles, and sales in the sneaker world. It is a must-own for sneakerheads. Tonight they dropped the Air Jordan 1s Reimagined Royal. If you had Soul Savvy, you had a chance. If not, try again next time. Sign up for Soul Savvy by clicking the link in the description
below.
Was
that in the read, or did you do that?
That was him.
That's all me.
I love your ad-libs.
Thank you. Or by visiting links.soulsavvy.com/DNVR. Head on over to the App Store and download the Drops by Soul Savvy app.
7 sacks, by the way. Wait, no. That's
No, they only had
We looked better sack-wise in the first quarter and part of that
only
second quarter. Yeah. I didn't think it was as bad.
But Shedeur ends the game with, quote unquote dumbest stat in football. 7 carries for negative 37 yards. So that gives Colorado a total of 19 carries for negative 7 yards.
He took a real bad sack.
The first one? Yeah. And then also shout out to our friends at Hero Bread. Your friends at Hero Bread.
Bro, Hero Bread goes crazy.
Slaps.
Yeah, man, they got tortillas.
Those tortillas are unbelievable.
I want to hear you say Hero Bread slaps hard.
Hero Bread slaps so hard.
If you need a low-carb option to fit your lifestyle or diet
Have you seen that
and you don't want to give up bread,
that trend of the people slapping
Check
people
out
with a
Hero
tortilla?
Yes, I have
Right
seen
now.
that. Yeah, Shiloh and his
Hero
sister
Bread.
did it.
I'll let you do it to me.
is offering
I will do it.
the DMVR
And I
fam
love the way he's
And
still
we'll
doing
say-
the ads while we do this.
10%
And we'll
off
say Hero Bread
your
slaps.
first order.
Slaps.
Just go to hero.co and use our code DMVR to save on Hero Bread today. That's HERO.co to save 10% today. Shout out Hero Bread.
Shout out.
All right,
Shout out.
let's go through it all, man. First quarter. Colorado won the toss.
We did.
And Oregon State was actually like 8-1 on the season on tosses.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a toss off.
Toss off. First Oregon State drive. I mean, man, this defense played, I think, phenomenally today. They just gave out in the end. First drive was a 3-and-out. CU gets the ball back on their own 20. First play was a completion of Dillon for 10 yards, then a Dillon rush for 1 yard, then first penalty.
Why is it 2 weeks in a row that Dillon catches the ball on the first play of the game and doesn't get many catches after that?
I don't know. It's like we only scheme for the first drive.
Yep.
Because right after the false start, Shador passed to Dylan Edwards for 11 yards. Shador passed to Travis for 11 yards. I mean, they were moving on this first drive. Picked up 3 first downs. They crossed midfield, and the drive stalled out. They ended up punting.
Was there a sack involved?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So no sacks. We had one designed rush on that first drive. Second play.
Nothing changed in the play calling, in my opinion.
Thank you, K-Max. So good punt from Vassett. It's down at the Oregon State 6-yard line.
He had a good
Beavers
game.
take over. He did. I was going to say that, but I didn't know if anyone wanted to hear that. Or
No,
not.
he did have a good day.
He did have a really good game.
Yeah.
Damian Martinez, man, this guy's a stud. Rushed for 11 yards. This drive kind of stalls out. Actually, it's a fumble. First fumble. This one was forced by Omarion Cooper, recovered by my guy Trevor Woods. How about that? My defensive player of the game forcing a fumble and my dark horse recovering it.
Love to see it.
Well, the Buffs get the ball
It's
back.
about time you were right or something.
Yeah, right. On
The broke
the
clock is right twice.
Oregon State 38-yard line, and, well, nothing happens. It was that weird 3rd and 6 where Shador scrambled up the field. Is close to the first down marker, but it actually gets the ball pumped out, and it's a turnover.
Yeah, that one was weird. I couldn't see what happened from my perspective.
He just, the way the guy, like, wrapped around and hit him, the ball just popped
it
out.
was
and
a
he
fumble.
wasn't down at all?
No.
It was a fumble.
Yeah, it was a fumble. I mean, it was like so clear a fumble. I don't know how they didn't say that from the jump street.
Yeah, it was pretty
Okay.
easy. And then next Oregon State drive, they did Aiden Childs is just like in the game.
Yeah, just changed quarterbacks.
They just changed quarterbacks. They get a DPI on that first play of that drive, and then they just kind of run the ball down the field. Ends in an Aiden Childs 23-yard touchdown run. They run quarterback draw out of 5 wide, and no one's in the middle of the field.
Quarterback draw
No
out
one.
of 5 wide was maybe the most frustrating play of the night, over and over and over again.
Yeah, brutal. 7-0.
And in credit to Brian Lindgren, former Colorado offensive coordinator, and now the offensive coordinator at Oregon State, for just he must have seen something on film that said they don't have the guys. So if we go 5 wide, they're going to spread it out and not have anyone in the middle.
But, you don't have to see that kind of thing on film. You can see that in the game.
Of course.
Like that first time you did it, it's like, okay, let's do that again.
And
there's nobody standing there.
I mean, I know this isn't on Charles Kelly because I could see him screaming on the sideline every time they went 5 wide. Someone's got to stay in. Someone's got to stay in and spy him.
It's 11 on 11.
Yep. But you got to take your chances there. And you're not in man. Can't be in man against that. And so give yourself a quarterback spy, whether it's Juju or whoever else, Trevor, and say, okay, you got to stay in the middle of the field, and someone else has to, we got to worry about giving them numbers on the outside to not give them numbers on the inside.
And after they do it one time, you're going to have to show me that you're not serious about it and beat me another way.
Yes.
You're going to get – when you get beat on the play, you're going to get beat on the play.
Yep.
But you're not going to beat me the same way. I'm going to make you prove that when I put a guy in the middle, well, then I throw it over top, to the single coverage. And if you don't, I'm keeping the guy in the middle.
Yep.
Because I got to take that away from you. Because if nothing else, you not only in that situation, you don't run for a 23-yard score, In the other situations, you don't get a first down.
Colorado's next drive starts on their own 25. The very last play of the first quarter, Shedeur takes that pretty bad 11-yard sack.
Yeah.
On first down.
That was on him.
I missed that one. What was bad about it?
He just ran 11 yards backwards.
Yeah.
I thought you meant it was bad because he got hit bad.
No, that was on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't scramble
No, I know what
out either way. It was just a backdrop.
This is the play. First play of the second quarter. It was 2nd and 21. All I see in the play log is Shedeur Sanders incomplete to Dylan Edwards. I'm pretty sure that's the 5 wide, and they run like a middle screen. They've got Bailey and I think Van that released late, and Dylan's coming on like a slant. And, man, it was just right. It was too hot for him, really.
Yeah.
But
there was some heat on that ball.
If he caught that thing, man, he was gone. There was no one in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like they were doing us.
Yeah. CU ends up punting. Oregon State starts with the ball on the Colorado 44. They get 1 first down. And no, they go backwards on a hold, and they didn't even get a first down. They punt the ball. Colorado gets the ball back on their own 20. Not much really going. They move the ball. Well, they're plagued by penalties here. Oh, no, this is a Oregon State penalty. It was the pass to –
over there, man?
I hate reading this off of this.
You don't have to.
It's easier on the paper. They don't give me the game books anymore.
Who do we need to talk to with 3 games left?
You
waited 9 weeks.
Say his
One
name.
home game left.
Yeah, you waited 9 weeks to complain.
They've had it for some games for me.
That's Jake, though, dude. He hasn't complained. He just
Alyssa has on like a half shoe. I'm digging this design. Yeah, it's like look at like it's like a whole section missing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyways, this drive goes nowhere. CU ends up punting, and then the Colorado defense bails Oregon State out again. First play is a sack on DJU. Then it's the second fumble. Shiloh comes in with a big hit. Pops the ball out. It's recovered by Derek McClendon.
D-Mac.
On the Oregon State 19-yard line. The 19-yard line.
And Deuce and I look at each other. My son was on camera duty tonight, and he says, "Oh, we're about to score now."
Do you know how many yards we gained on that drive?
negative.
5 yards.
I was 4. I was 5. Okay, I knew. I remember the number because I was frustrated. I was like, how do we not move the ball on the 19?
It ends in a 32-yard Mata field goal. Yeah. Oregon State gets the ball back. They don't really do anything
Shout
with
out to Mata.
Mata don't miss.
That was your dark horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. He put points on the board.
They end up punting.
He put the most points on the board.
He did.
Colorado gets the ball back. Shedeur goes deep for Travis. They get a DPI. They move it all the way down to close to midfield, but, again, don't really do anything with it. Don't even cross midfield, actually.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys noticed that the only play that really works for this offense is going deep?
It's going deep and hoping for a DPI the last 3 weeks. That's the best play. It's
like either Travis catches it or Zay catches it or they get a call.
Interference, yeah.
So, to me, you actually – this is counterintuitive, but you actually don't need to protect to be able to get the ball downfield like that. Obviously, you have to protect to a certain degree. No, that ball gets out pretty quick.
Yeah, because you
run it more.
You're throwing to the fast guys.
Yeah,
and you're leading them to it.
So how much air you get under it.
But it's just frustrating because, like, the play in the fourth quarter when Shedeur went deep to Travis, when it was actually protected up, like, you just knew something was going to happen because Shedeur had time. He was able to go through his drop, step up into the throw, and just launch that thing down the field. And there was Travis, just ready to make a play.
Yep.
So
we're all just dropping shit.
You guys just made me lose my place now, man.
Like
I was going, and then you guys cut in when I was trying to go.
I don't know what more we can do.
Anyways.
Oregon State gets the ball back after a Colorado punt on their own 12-yard line.
Can we talk about the end of the first half?
We're almost there.
Okay.
Man, they were just getting sacks on him. They were getting pressure on DJU. I mean, Oregon State's offense was able to run the ball, but Colorado's defense stepped up a ton. They end up forcing a punt. Then Colorado gets the ball back with 49 seconds left in the first half.
Okay. I'm of two minds here.
Mm-hmm.
You're down 7-3, correct?
Yep. On your own 4-yard line.
I respect the attempt to make something happen here. Because you're down 7-3, you have one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and you're thinking, let's go make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, what ended up happening cannot happen. It's an unacceptable thing to happen. So, if you're going to take the chance to see if you can make something happen, you got to run some plays that you know work. And if I recall correctly, I believe Jimmy Horn had a drop.
Yes, he did. Shador threw like a screen to Dillon, I think, or he actually double pumped on a release or a swing route.
Yep.
And it fell incomplete. Then Jimmy has the drop. And then, hands are tied at that point on 3rd and 10. Dylan Edwards rush up the middle for no gain. Oregon State calls timeout. CU punts the ball. Anthony Gould has a big return.
Well, and as you're punting here, you're saying, okay, we can live with 10-7. Or, sorry, 10-3. Mm-hmm. You can live with 10-3.
So Anthony Gould has a big return to the Colorado 20. They even have an illegal formation on that punt, so that moves the ball up 5 yards. This drive starts on the Colorado 20-yard line. It takes one play.
Yep.
DJU to Fenwick, and it's a 20-yard touchdown, and all of a sudden it's 14-3 going into halftime.
That sequence is what lost the game.
Absolutely.
Straight up. Right there. You want to be aggressive, which I respect, because it's a 4-point game, and you can go make it a 1-point game. All it takes is a couple good plays. But it fails miserably. You take 20 seconds off the clock. You punt the ball. You give up a big return. And it takes one play to score a touchdown. Right there, that is the game. It all just happened right there in 49 seconds.
We lose, I don't know the word, so easily at times that it's hard to pinpoint where you lost the game at because there's so many other places where you lost the game at. And with the margin of victory, any score that they got is where we lost the game at. You're in that situation and the defense plays so wonderfully the entire first half, and then to have that happen, that's even more reason when you're getting the ball come out in the third quarter that the offense has to just rally up and make sure you score.
But it should have never been in that position.
I understand that. But literally shit happens. And to me, so much shit happened in the second half that's where we lost the game at. Had the game ended right then, that's where we lost the game at, math-wise. But we had so many opportunities to overcome that play. And here, once again, for me, you have a defense that Charles Kelly's put together, hobbled these guys together, working with them through injuries and such, play just beautifully, but always have this one damn play or two. And UCLA was 2 plays in the third quarter. Bam, bam, and they score. And then you get this sense of dejection, even in the crowd tonight. Now, here comes the chat. Neely's blaming the crowd. No, I'm not. I'm just saying the life from the bench, the crowd sucked out right then.
Yep.
And it just went like dead silent.
Yep. At the half, CU had created 2 turnovers, and they had sacked DJU 3 times.
And you lose a game.
Well,
and you're down 14-3.
At that point, Shador was only 11 of 19 for 41 yards, only sacked once. CU only had 12 rushing yards, and they were 1 for 8 on third down.
So here's another time in the season where the game is lost, in my opinion, because of Colorado's inability to run the ball. Obviously,
because if you run the ball, they don't have any time left.
Obviously, the game against Stanford, which I wish I could stop fucking talking about, but I will be talking about it for a long time, probably.
Language.
I think about it every day, to be honest. You lose that game because you can't run the ball and you didn't trust the running ball, and you you weren't able to get out there and run the ball and get rid of the game. You couldn't do it.
You shouldn't be thinking about Stanford every day, though.
I do think about Stanford every day. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize for needing help.
I do need help. Please, someone help me.
If you think about Stanford every day, you need help.
All right.
So now let me just finish this point. In that moment, with 49 seconds left in the clock, you should be able to run the ball on first down. Yeah. And just say, hey, look, if we get 8-9 yards, we'll go be aggressive. If we don't, well, we'll just take away their timeouts, try to run the ball, and punt it away.
Absolutely.
But you can't because you don't trust the run at all. But I would love to see them there run the one run play that has worked all season, which is a little read pitch to Dylan Edwards on the edge with Shador. He takes 2 steps. If the defensive end crashes down, he pitches it. If the defensive end goes with Dylan, he can take it. That's something I've been waiting for all season. And
Didn't run it once today.
It works when it works. They didn't run it once against UCLA either. When they run it, it works. They haven't been able to do it. And I think the main reason is because Shedeur can't run the ball anymore. Mm-hmm. They've allowed him to get sacked so many times that you can't.
Yeah, no, you can't. You literally cannot deliberately run a quarterback who has been sacked more than anybody in the nation.
And to be honest, it's one of the reasons why Sean Lewis's offense never got going, because if you go back and look when Sean Lewis's offense was cooking at Kent State, it had a lot of quarterback runs. This team simply cannot afford to run the ball with the quarterback because they get him hurt.
I'm making this number up. I don't have the stats in front of me. If a typical quarterback, whether sacked or runs, is on the ground 12 times in a game, Shedeur is knocked down like 17 in the game.
Yep.
And then sacked like 8. And now you want to do 5 more design runs with him? Like you can't.
Nope. You can't. You simply can't. So I understand that. But you got to get Dylan out on the edge and just give him a chance to go make a play sometimes.
I think we as coaches get in the way of ourselves, like overthinking it. It's kind of like you said about, trying something. For me, something not working and something else not working is the same result. It didn't work.
Yep.
So if I'm not having success this way, it's almost like Coach Ryan making the co-coordinator change. I still just think a deliberate run that does not work is better than constantly doing what people have seen on film for 8 weeks. Because that's not going to work.
Yep.
I don't get it. Try something different, man. If it doesn't work, it's the same result.
And that's my disappointment with Pat Shurmur tonight is I just don't – it didn't look any different to me. Did it look different to you?
They did. They were slower tempo-wise. They held it up a lot more.
For me, it did look different. It was not executed.
They tried to run more screens again. I thought the screen game was there. Shedeur just missed a few throws. He was not good in the first half.
And you look at it, here's what's crazy. Maybe Shedeur is so used to playing under pressure, because look at the success we've had when he's been sacked 5 times in the first half, and look at what we did in the first half when he was upright the whole time.
It's also he was hurt.
I know, yeah, he was hurt.
Oh, yeah, nobody blame him. He's hurt every damn week because of the line. He plays hurt, but
this week is the worst he's been physically.
Because he's coming off the game, he was hurt the most physically.
Yes, absolutely.
So here we go into the third quarter. They start off by handing it to Syvion Wilkerson. He has a nice run of 8 yards.
Mm-hmm.
They actually moved the ball pretty well in the first 4 or 5 plays of this drive of the opening
story of the game.
Opening drive of the second half. But it stalls right around midfield. CU ends up punting. Probably Vissett's worst punt at that point, only 29 yards. Still down at the Oregon State 15. And they go on a monster drive. This is 8, 9, 10 plays. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 first downs. It's capped off by a DJU keeper right up the middle and from the 1 yard line. Weird sequence here. They go to kick the PAT. PAT's good. CU is called for offsides. So that moves the ball up 1 yard, half the distance of the goal to the 1 yard line.
1.5 yards.
And Oregon State decides to go for 2.
Bad coaching decision.
Snap is just over DJU's head. And all of a sudden, Kendrick Breedlove finally gets to show his speed, and he's going the other way.
A wild play. Bad coaching decision by Oregon State.
Well, how so?
Because that kept this a two-score game at this point.
So it was 20-3.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be 21-3.
Yeah.
They wanted to take the opportunity to go 22-3.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, they ended up allowing it to be 20-5, which made it a two-score game.
Yep.
I got it. I just want you to explain it.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
Hey, man, you ain't got to look at me like I don't know shit. No, I'm a smart motherfucker. And I use the MF.
Colorado.
I'm trying to get you to articulate and just say some shit that hadn't been expounded on. Like you just said it was bad. Tell them why.
I got you, bro.
Coloro's next drive starts off with
everybody doesn't know football. Like, they need to hear the explanation.
I'm not questioning your intelligence.
No, it's for them. Like,
no, I feel you.
Why was it a –
Yeah, no, it's a bad move. Bad move. So all of a sudden Colorado's back in the game. Honestly, hope should have been killed with that touchdown.
Yes.
But after the Breedlove return, hope was alive and well.
Yep.
Shedeur Sanders.
And it felt like we were headed to like one of these double overtime situations again for a night game.
Oh,
because when you looked at the math, he's like, okay, if we do this, if then that, shit is gonna be overtime.
I was ready to be in here at 2:30.
1:30 because you fall back.
True. Did we fall back already?
No.
No, we fall back at 2.
Okay.
Shador Sanders is sacked on the first play of the next drive, and then 2 incompletions. CU has to punt, but it's still a 2-possession game. Oregon State gets the ball back on the Oregon State 30-yard line.
Get Pepsi to pay us, man.
They have a few chunk plays here. They get the big pass to Manyagi. I don't know. I think that was the tight end up down the side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They get another 11-yard gain. All of a sudden, they're in the Colorado red zone. Start the fourth quarter here. They get all the way down to the Colorado 4-yard line, and then they just settle for a field goal.
And right then, you know or believe that we're still in the game.
Yep.
When they didn't get a touchdown there, because it was kind of gift wrapped to them like it was to us early when we won the 19. When they had to settle for that field goal, you're looking at the math, you're looking at the time left, you're looking at dime, you're looking at dime time, and you're like, you know what? Like, this can happen.
Yep.
So at this point, while Oregon State is driving down the field to kick this field goal, Shador goes into the locker room.
Yeah.
Gets a pain shot, he said, in the postgame presser. Comes back out before this next drive, and it's CU's best drive of the night. They get 4 first downs on this drive.
Yeah, he really he went right by me going in. He really was hobbling. Like he couldn't I can't remember which leg, but one of the legs it's almost like he was cramped up, like you can't bend it or straighten it.
Yep.
So he was like a peg leg walking.
I should have chosen Toradol as my dark horse player of the game.
Shador was even sacked
I'm
on
choosing
this
medical science
drive. They were faced with a 1st and 20 on the Colorado 28-yard line.
Yeah.
They get a big pass to Omarion Miller. They get a big pass to Zay. 2 big passes to Zay. And then
and shout out to Omarion Miller on that run.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wheeled that. Like
Yep.
I mean, he was probably 2 steps after catching the ball. There was serious contact.
That has been his best attribute to this point. Is when he gets the ball, man, he makes plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he went up that sideline with purpose, man. And that was, again, another situation where you're like, oh, yeah, momentum. I feel it.
Here
like
we
we
go.
can do this.
Yep.
I don't even remember where I was.
Travis
now.
Hunter's touchdown to cap off
Travis
that drive.
Hunter's touchdown. That's another will play right there.
Dude.
Straight up gave a guy the Heisman to get into the end zone.
99 acceleration on Madden.
Yep.
Just like catches the ball standing completely still, and then all of a sudden he's at full speed, stiff arming a guy into the end zone. I was like, what?
And we, not to rewind all the way back, but some of his earlier catches, spinning out of the first tackle and then making the second guy miss to get 3 or 4 more yards, it's phenomenal, man, his lateral movement acceleration.
Yeah,
it's like you said, he'll be standing completely still,
he
and
ends
he's
the
gone.
game with something like, let me give you the exact numbers. He ends the game with, sorry, my thing keeps reloading, 8 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. Easily the best player on offense tonight. I would love to see him with even more touches. I mean, next week, look, you got Arizona. Arizona beat the shit out of UCLA today.
Yeah, they did.
They're coming to Colorado.
Stanford won today, by the way.
You need this one, and that's what I was going to say. You get that one. That's a home game. You should have a chance every home game.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to play Washington State, who just lost to Stanford 10-7 after that.
Yep.
And the reason I bring that up is because you talked about this before the game when you chose Travis Hunter as your player of the game. You said, look, it's do or die time. You got to get the ball to Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
He touched the ball 8 times tonight. Most of them are late in the game.
Not enough.
Give me 15 catches next week.
Absolutely. He should be targeted at least 15 times a game.
Yep.
Like 2 or 3 of those should be easy designed screens. The rest should be, there should be 2 or 3 shots. The rest, he should be the focal point of the play.
Yeah.
He should be the first read.
Yep. I agree.
All right. So at this
point. And they're
point,
bracketing him all night. So I understand that. But at a certain point, you just got to go give him a chance.
At this point, it's 23-12. It's still a 2-score game with 10:41 left. Oregon State has a decent drive. They actually get in field goal range at the Colorado 23. The kick is good. It's still a 2-score game. It's 14 points. It's 26-12. Colorado gets the ball back. They had 4:47 left in the game when they got the ball here.
Little bit of a lack of urgency. Same thing that people complained about in the USC game.
Yep. Well, Shador took a sack on this drive too. But he found Travis, finally got good protection. That's when he hit the bomb to Travis for 40 yards.
Yep.
Travis is just amazing.
Yeah, he is.
And then Anthony Hankerson finally makes a play tonight. 12-yard reception from Shador Sanders. The score all of a sudden is 26-19. It's a one-score game.
One-score game.
Which it did not feel like a one-score game because everyone was losing their freaking mind on Twitter. Holy cow.
I'm glad that sometimes I miss Twitter when I'm in the stadium just chilling in the stands. I would have gone onside kick here.
Yeah.
And the reason I would is because in this stage of the game, Oregon State had been running the ball all over you.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between kicking it out of the back of the end zone and giving them the ball if you were unsuccessful on the onside kick is about 20 yards.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter anyways. If they get a first down, the game was over, and
Exactly.
that's what happened.
Exactly. And so, to me, I'm thinking, you know what? You try an onside kick here because your chances of winning the game are mostly resting, in my eyes, in that chance of getting the onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, you still have essentially the same chance, but you're losing 20 yards. 20 yards you can pick up in one play against a prevent defense.
I mean, look, man, I said CU's defense was playing really well. Oregon State still rammed the ball down their throat. They had 195 rushing yards. They averaged 4.2 yards per carry.
And it was worse the way the game went on because, as we've talked about, especially for the last 3 weeks, you keep putting the defense out there. They're going to wear down as the game goes on.
It was pretty evident.
You're going to give up one. At a minimum, you're going to give up one.
Yep.
You're human. If fatigue kicks in.
That's the game. Colorado had all 3 timeouts. Oregon State just kept on picking up first downs, and the game was over.
This did not change the outcome of the game, and I don't know if Coach Prime mentioned it in his presser, but there was somewhere around 40 seconds left in the game. I hear him tell the ref, like, I'm gonna use a timeout. Somehow she didn't hear it or didn't recognize it. And even when the clock continued to run, he's standing there like, well, I know they're going to put the time back on because I told her. And it just kept going. And he's like, hey, what about my timeout? She was like, huh? What timeout? And they huddled up, discussed it, and by that time it's 2 seconds left.
Yeah, and that doesn't excuse this, but the game was over because even if Coach Prime took a timeout the second that the last play was over, there was like 30 seconds left in the game. So they were going to kneel it out, and it was going to run out.
I really don't give a damn.
No, I know.
I am pointing this out because I know I'm not on X or Twitter. Like, I don't read the shit. I know people saying, why are we not calling timeouts?
Totally.
And he totally attempted to call timeouts
and
that were not recognized by the official.
And he deserved to get that timeout.
You had him.
Especially because the reason he's calling that timeout there is because maybe they mess up the exchange on the snap.
Look what happened on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Exactly.
When their coach went for the 2-point conversion, does he know they're going to snap it over his head?
Of course not.
Yeah, so, like, I have a timeout. I called it. The official doesn't recognize it. Like, I want to point that out as chronological order that happened in the game.
Yep.
I'm just going through the
bad officiating.
Box score. Oregon State, 418 yards of offense. Colorado only 238. -7 rushing yards. That's including the sacks. Colorado, 8 penalties, but actually Oregon State had more penalty yards.
Yeah. But when you say that 418, as glaring as that is, 418 is still less than our average what we're giving up.
Yeah, and that's just normal in the Pac-12.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad game.
It's very normal for us, but my point is that we didn't allow a team. We got 2 turnovers on them. Halftime score is relatively close. We get to the end of the game, right, and we lose a game that statistically, when you look at the box score, what happened and didn't happen, if you hold somebody under what you typically give up, that's where it starts,
Let me get
26 points, a winning number, like I said.
Yeah. Let me get through the box score, and then we can kind of
expound.
Yes. DJU was only 12 of 24, but he had 223 yards, 1 touchdown. Damian Martinez, 21 carries, 115 yards, average 5.5 yards per carry. CU's leading rusher was Savion Wilkerson, 4 attempts, 17 yards. Shador ended up 24 of 39, 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. Travis Hunter was a leading receiver in this game, 8 receptions, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Defensively, the Buffs' leading tackler was our guy, Levonta Bentley. 8 total tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for a loss, 1
almost
pass
had an
breakup.
interception.
He was awesome.
Oh, my God. There were 5 pass breakups, and I don't know, at least 2 or 3 of them, if they actually weren't tipped, probably would have been interceptions.
Yeah. Shiloh almost had a pick 6 if he gets his hands around that one.
Cam had a nice breakup that had someone been pursuing the ball as an interception.
Yeah.
Bentley almost had one.
Leonard Payne with a sack. Amari McNeil and Trevor Woods split a sack.
I will say this about our D-line, as we promised to let you get through the box score, but we're not going to hold up to the deal. We spent a good time on their side of the line of scrimmage compared to how we've been past games.
Yeah.
Like, we were back there.
I mean, Benton had 3 tackles for loss.
Yep. Vassett had 7 punts, averaging 45 yards a punt, had a long of 56. 3 of them inside the 20-yard line.
He had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
That's an NFL punter right there.
Hell yeah. And I love what Mata said yesterday, which is that he didn't have that level of confidence before he met Coach Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Vassett did not have that level of confidence before he met Coach Prime.
Alyssa with her shoes did
Shout
not
out.
have that level of confidence before she met Coach Prime.
Shout out. Shout out to our
She
friends at
denies
Olipop. Are you done?
Yes.
How many Olipops are popped at the tailgate today?
All of them.
So you guys actually managed to get through all the drinks?
Bro, the tailgate went nuts at like 6 o'clock.
Oh my God.
You know, it was a slow start. We opened up at 4. We didn't really get anyone in there until about 4:45. But by 6 o'clock, it was turned up. And
It's right when I left.
every single person
That's why they turned up. Is when you left.
Every
Guess
single
so.
person that walked in the gates, I said, we have so many drinks, and I don't want to bring a single one home with me. That is your challenge to your group. And everyone took that personally.
Let's go.
And so we finished every single drink that we brought to the tailgate. So
That's
shout out
amazing.
to everyone who came through. Shout out to 5430. I went around with my QR code showing it to everyone. A lot of donations to 5430. They put us in a position to throw a hell of a party, and we came through.
But Olipop is delicious. It works great as a mixer as well. Come out to one of our tailgates. Damn. Last one of the year. Next weekend, bro.
Well, I think we'll be in the same spot. We'll see.
I can't believe we're at the last home game.
Yeah.
They're going to win, and then they're going to win the
Anyways,
next week too.
Shout out to Olipop. They got tons of different flavors: vintage cola, classic root beer, orange squeeze, classic grape, tons more. Use the code DMVR20 for 20% off your next Olipop order. On drinkolipop.com, Olipop can also be found in over 22,000 stores across the country, including King Soopers, Safeway, Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, and Sprouts. And then our friends at Game Time. Next weekend's the last home game, but it is still sold out. So if you want to get in the doors, if you want to hang out with Buff Nation at Folsom Field for one last time this year, check out Game Time.
What's the code?
The code is BUFFS, BUFFS.
And what does that get you?
That gets you $20 off
Why
your
wouldn't
first
you do it?
purchase. I don't know. That's a great question, Unc. It doesn't work not only for Buffs games, for any game.
I mean, concerts,
concert?
comedy shows, anything that's sold out.
There you go. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code BUFFS, BUFFS for $20
I could use $20 off
your
like,
first purchase.
everything in my life.
Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BUFFS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. All right.
So much of Alyssa's shoe is missing. I hope she got $20 off. Like, there's a good percentage of shoe.
Bishop Thomas was dressed. He had a club on his right hand. I don't know if he really played too much. Juju Mitchell got in the game late. Cormani got in the game late. Omari Miller was in the game early. Savion got in this week. I mean, I think they emptied the clip. Honestly, I think they did all they could today. I really do.
Nothing to add to that because that's exactly what happened. You saw guys getting opportunities for whatever reason or reasons. You know, Bishop was out there nursing, I think it's a wrist injury.
He had a massive club.
Yeah, he's got when he's not with the club in games, it's, a little brace or something he's wearing. I love the old school football when you could use the club.
I prefer the club. Like when I played, I one time had a club, and I was like, can I just have this every game? Just
It
feels
was a
good to be able to
just wallop somebody.
swipe it at people.
But yeah, I think, somehow, man, we haven't been able to put together a game where the all three phases, I don't mean show up perfectly, but just show up. Or you know what? Let's take that back. Forget a game. We need a series, a quarter where it happens. You know, because for instance, UCLA, the third down penalty we would give would be the very play that led to them to score.
Yep.
And then like today, the one time Mr. Perfect Mark Vrissett doesn't do a great punt, it leads to an opportunity for them.
Yep.
You know, it's like situationally we just have this whatever can go wrong goes wrong, and then it compounds, and you look up, now they got 2 scores out of it. But if we can get special teams off to play offense, defense, play complementary football, to think about the other guy, put them in the best position, this team, you know, one thing Coach Prime said post-game in the locker room is he was proud that they did not – I don't know if he touched on the presser, Jake, please chime in – that he was proud that the team didn't give up, that they fought back toward the end.
Yep.
Because you could have time-wise and score-wise, record-wise, that said, you know what, forget it. Let's just get ready for next week. Never gave up, never quit. I think that programmatically that we are on the right road. We're just no longer moving at the right speed. You know, we got to accelerate, drive the speed limit or faster. But the arrow is still pointing up for this program.
Absolutely.
4 wins, 5 losses on the season.
Another one to add to the column that Coach Prime keeps talking about, which is every single game they've had a chance.
Yep.
Man, except Oregon. Like that, it just is that simple. We have now 5 losses, and 4 of those losses, including tonight, you were absolutely in position to win the game.
I've mentioned this on about 1,000 podcasts before, but it is always relevant. Bobby Bowden used to say this about the building of a program. First you lose big, then you lose small. Then you win small, then you win big. Colorado is in the win small category right now. They're fighting and scratching and clawing to try to get to that win small area. And they have a couple times this year, but they have fallen back into they lose small category.
But what has not happened throughout Oregon, we do not lose big.
No.
It doesn't happen. Nobody just torches us, man.
Last year we lost bigger than anyone in the country.
I remember every time someone mentions that the offense was averaging 32 points a game coming into this year, I was like, they lost games by 32 points a game last year.
Yeah.
This game.
Yeah.
Last year it was like 49-7.
So they're in the lose small category, which is a good place to be because the next one is the win small, and after that it's the win big. I just have a feeling they might get into the win small category over the next 2 weeks.
I'm gonna push back on something that Coach Prime says. We are probably less than 6 players away. If they're talent-wise and in the right positions, and as people grow in this program, I mean, just like this. I heard you Jake, but hear me out. If you had another, if you fill in the blank, I don't care if you say Omarion Miller, I'm not even going to use a Travis or Shador. If you had another blank, what a difference it would make.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one guy on the offensive line, not a whole new offensive line.
I was going to say.
If you had just one more corner, just one more line, like we ain't far away. Like I don't think it's 10 players.
No, and I think that Coach Prime, when he says that, he means 7, 8 players away from competing for a national championship.
Absolutely. And I'm saying that when he says 7 and 8, we could probably get there, because keep this in mind, fellas. I know, please chat, go crazy, attack me, I don't care. How many games we lost?
5.
You don't think 1 or 2 players could make the difference in those?
I mean, we didn't have Travis for
So wait, you don't think 1 or 2 players could make a difference in those?
Yes, they could.
So if 1 or 2 players make the difference, then we're now, 8-1?
I mean,
if you're 8-1 this year, you're in the top 10.
You're in the mix. Yep. Absolutely.
Like you're in the top. Like this program, this team, yeah, it's bad because we have 5 losses, but the margin of error between those losses and wins doesn't take a lot of shit to fix to get it fixed.
It's close, man.
It's right there. Going off your Bobby Bowden, losing small, like it is right. There are key people, there are key plays that would have made a difference in these losses.
Amen.
It's not a hard reset that it looks like.
No, it's not. It's add a little bit of spice to the pot.
Mm-hmm. Some love for it versus like for it.
Yep.
Some show up for meetings on time, doing all those little things, working your butt off, getting in your playbook, getting in your film time. Man, you give me a couple more guys to do that, and you're talking about you keep the 4 wins you got, and 5 of those losses that you have, at least 3 of those you flip. Now you got 7 wins.
I still think they need to improve the team depth-wise, though.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's more than 7 to 8 players. I know what Coach Prime means when he says we need – I mean, you're 7 to 8 impact players away. from
So there's
competing.
this thing called attrition, and we got a human resource expert in the room. Allison's over there. There's this thing called attrition. You're going to pick that up naturally.
Right.
There are people in this room who are going to leave the program, not because it's sweeping changes or roster flipping. It's natural attrition. They're going to be, at least half of those people that leave are going to be naturally replaced by somebody that's better than them.
Mm-hmm.
The team got better.
Yep.
Now, if you go out and strategically find those dogs that you need, the team got exponentially better.
5430foundation.org.
Let them know.
Timely plug.
Jordan
That's what
Seaton
the fans can do
was
to help
here
win.
this weekend.
It's the only thing a fan can do to help us win.
The
In
fans
sports.
were chanting his name again.
Yep. I saw Jordan Seaton afterwards.
Coach Prime mentioned
He's
he
huge.
met with every single player on an official visit today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
The positive of an 8 o'clock start.
true. But look at the guest list again for this weekend. If you can't see what's coming, what this program is turning into, then
You're just a hater.
you are just a hater, and you don't know ball.
I got my car
know.
broken into today.
Really?
Yep.
You got what?
My car broken into.
Really?
Yeah. Right at my apartment complex.
What the hell?
You know what my first thought was? I said,
Rose Bowl?
if I played for the Buffs, Coach Prime haters would say, shouldn't have had a car. If you didn't want your car to get broken in, you shouldn't have had a car.
Yeah, there's a lot of victim blaming going on out there.
Yeah. But that sucked. You know what sucks the most?
What's that?
Is that they took a tripod. All they took.
But that means a lot to the three of us.
It does.
does.
It does. It's
Like
ceremonial.
that's like my mama gave me that chain.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
That's valuable.
Exactly.
You don't take our tripods.
But they took a tripod. The most expensive thing they took was my window. But they don't get to take that. It's just shattered in my back seat.
What are they going to do with a tripod?
I just think they saw the tripod and they're like, that looks like something that might be valuable. They didn't even get to my golf clubs.
Well,
That is wild.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense.
Bummer.
All right. Anything else before we move on to Super Chats here?
you know what? It's 10 minutes to 2, which means there's 10 minutes to 1.
We're getting out of here.
And we're getting out of here at 2.
Damn, we could be in bed by 2.
Well, then let me tell you
Yeah,
about
you fall back.
Circa and our Broncos road trip coming up at the end of the year. The Broncos close the season out in Vegas against the Raiders. I mean, who knows with this Broncos team now? Last week was a
Kind of sad we don't get to see him tomorrow.
pretty momentous win.
And you were there.
I was there, man. It was, honestly, I said
And
it.
on the way there, I'm not a Broncos
Jake
fan.
was delirious.
It
I
was
was.
delirious. But on the way there, someone mentioned that because CU lost, Colorado State lost, the Air Force
That was
lost
it. That was it, right? Yeah.
that the Broncos were going to win.
One win
Yep.
per week.
That was my favorite day as a Broncos fan since I said Super Bowl 50 on the draft pod, and I.
How sleepy were you in the stands?
Oh, I was fine in the stands. I went home and I slept for like 13 hours the night after, though.
By the way, Air Force got mopped by Army today.
Yeah, some
And
interesting
Army
scores
practiced
today.
in this building.
They sure did. Did they
Um,
steal our win?
anyway,
think
shout
they
out to
stole our
Circa. Head out with the Broncos crew on this. Are you going on this road trip?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Circa, Vegas.
I don't
I
miss
mean,
Circa in Vegas. Yeah.
We got a whole package. You get 20% off a
I
2-night
love
stay at
gambling.
Circa, 2 tickets to Winter Swim and Concert, 2 passes to Stadium Swim, access to our tailgate, a year of Die Hard membership, and an option to buy the game ticket. Head on over to the link in our description for more information.
Even if you don't even like the Broncos, you should go to this.
And then shout out to our great friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. They were at the tailgate also, or they had beers at the tailgate, so appreciate that. They're just the best, man. They've got tons of our favorites: the Mountain Beach Sour, Strawberry Sky, Avalanche Amber, Mile High City Golden, Funslinger, Broncos Country Pale Ale, tons and tons of good beers.
I need to take a shower.
Check out the beer locator at www.breckbrew.com, and you can find a Breck Brew near you. All right, Alyssa.
Let's go.
You ready?
This is your time to shine.
It's your
Okay,
one
here
job.
we go.
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Mike Gant, Super Chat, tired of East and West offense, SMH.
Fair.
Okay, got it, yeah.
I mean, when you can't go north and south,
But they should be going more north and south.
Kappa U, couple Super Chats. Thank you very much. Free Cavassier Smoke and Savion Wilkerson.
Okay.
I'm
I'm waiting. I'm waiting on one to disagree with. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, those are good ones. Free them.
MTN Aesthetics. Real talk, who else can redshirt? Season's over.
I disagree.
That doesn't even make sense, first off.
But I'll go back to the previous one, now that someone mentioned redshirt. I mean, with McCaskill out, you should see exponentially more Wilkerson and Smoke now. Because, Smoke was special teaming it, and McCaskill was over here RBing it, and now that he's gone, you should see more utilization. Because what Smoke was doing in Kentucky in the SEC was phenomenal.
Yep.
I mean, I can't even think of players who have played like 2 or 3 games. It's just guys like, I don't know, Adam Hopkins, Jacob Page, like these freshmen who haven't played. Those are going to be the guys that get redshirted.
By the way, I met Morgan Pearson's family tonight.
Yeah?
Awesome people.
Hell yeah. We liked him. We liked his film.
I know, that's what I told them. Every single player's family that I've met has been top
amazing.
Notch.
I love this team. I still love this team.
Me too.
Well, good, because here's a nice super chat from Lance Barnes. All positivity here. We are so blessed with Coach Prime, DNVR, and the pregame show. Also, if you don't want any negativity in your life, block Silver Buff, and your life will be way better off.
We laugh because we've known Silver Buff for a long time.
Yeah. I don't know, man. People need to relax. And
honestly, let's just call it like it is. The 3-0 start sent everyone into a.
I'll go before that, bro. I think I put him 8th place, and I got fucking killed for it. I think expectations were set way too high for the caliber of this conference before the season.
I don't think they were set high. I think it is what you get when you bring a Deion Sanders into your life.
I understand, but people were wanting this team to be a 10-win team or thinking they could be a 10-win team.
I get it, but if Neely's the head coach, that doesn't happen. If RK is the head coach, that doesn't happen. If Deuce Neely's the coach, that doesn't happen. Hell, if Pat Shermer's the head coach, that doesn't happen.
You're right.
When Deion Sanders becomes your head coach, the expectation changes. I'm not debating it. I'm applauding it. I want this to happen.
Yeah, no.
I'm glad people.
You're both right.
Yeah, I'm glad people expect it.
But I would just say the 3-0 start had people thinking this team was better than they are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that includes me. So, hand up.
And all I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with that.
No, and you're right. But because of that, the reaction to every loss is more egregious.
And then that's where they're not grounded in reality.
Totally.
Because no one said, even with the Deion Sanders coming in, that this team was going undefeated in the first year.
Yep, and we both predicted them to go 6-6. Still very much on the table.
You're still right there.
Yep.
So this whole panic, like you just said, Jake, the old Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax.
Perspective, bro.
We're already 4X.
Yep.
Please, it's just year 1. Look at the names who are coming in to visit. Just understand what's about to happen in the transfer portal. This team is going to be better next year.
Period. Team's going to be better next week.
Okay, JZCZC, erratic coaching decisions lost this game. I can see the glide path to success next year. The staff doesn't seem to have harmony.
Disagree. Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, I don't think it was erratic coaching decisions. I think it was poor execution at the end of the half.
I think people are still just freaking out about the Pat Shermer thing and the timing. It came out yesterday when
what didn't happen yesterday.
In reality, yes, this happened a while ago. And Coach Prime talked about it in the press conference today. He's like, I'm not going to talk shit about Sean Lewis because people were trying to get him to kind of tell the differences between him and Pat, and he wasn't having it. He was going into what we were all just saying, and I'm sure Neely knows more than anyone here that it's a group process more than anything. It's not just Sean Lewis. It's not just Pat Shermer. It's not just Coach Prime.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, like the deal is pick a side of the ball. Offense, okay, we pick offense. Before Pat Shermer was co-offense coordinator, what was he?
Analyst.
He's involved.
Yep.
Like you acted like when you say erratic that Coach Prime was on the bread aisle at Safeway and saw Pat Shermer say, hey, put a headset on this weekend. Like he was already part of the process.
Nice local grocery store drive.
Well, I mean, I live right by it and I walk to it. Shout out to Safeway. I love the way they take the soft drinks.
You could have said,
spell out buffs.
Winn-Dixie or something.
There's a Winn-Dixie here?
No.
Okay, because I haven't walked to it, I'm going to tell you, let me tell you, you want to hear some snobbish stuff about walking?
Sure.
I will walk to BJ's. Burger King is next door. I refuse to walk to Burger King.
Yeah, there's something about that.
I'm not walking for fast food. That's just too far to walk for fast food.
Yeah.
If I walk that far, I'm sitting down, and I want a cloth napkin.
I feel that.
Go, Alyssa.
That was it. Sorry.
Let's go.
All right. I quickly want to give a shout out, and sorry if this is like a rival fraternity for you.
There are no rivals to Kappa Alpha Psi.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to Omega Sci-Fi.
God bless them. Also founded in 1911 at Howard University. Like
Is that
we need more of them.
Is that the fraternity Josh Giants brought back?
I think so. Yes, they were tailgating right by us.
They were lit,
bro. They turned up.
Yeah,
they turned up. They brought all the vibes, all the music, all of the just energy.
You should join.
For the area that we were tailgating in, so I want to give a shout out to them.
You're just going to dismiss my "you should join"?
Am I allowed to? I
haven't been because you're white.
No, because I haven't been in college for 10 years.
Well, I don't know if it takes that. Did you go to college?
I did go to college.
There you go. You can join his grad chapter. There you go.
All right, I'm in.
I think you'll be a perfect cue.
But either way, I just had to give them a shout out because they had so much fun, man, and it made me have more fun.
Did you offer them some beer?
I actually did. I went over to them and I said, I have so much beer. Please come take some.
Did they take it?
Some people did.
Good. Some did.
I don't have really anything else to add. We got the press conferences up on the YouTube page.
We really should go one more minute just for the sake of falling back on the air.
I'm down.
Like it's 1:59.
What's up, chat? Allie says go Buffs.
Hi, Allie.
You're Allie?
I think so.
Yeah. She said you guys are the best. You're the best, Allie.
Yeah, you are the best. And we pray for you because you have to deal with him way more than we do.
Luis brought up Shador in the press conference.
Oh, yeah. Shador wasn't having it either.
Bodying Sean Keeler.
Hey, look. All right,
it's 2 a.m.
We're back to
It's
1.
officially 1 a.m.
We have to do the whole show over again.
Welcome into the DMVR post.
No, let's do the intro like we mean it.
Buff Nation.
Let's go.
Now we can go off there because it's like, look, the clock changed.
Oh, man.
That one's tied up.
Let's go.
It went from 2 to 1.
The like official time thing is in Boulder.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's why it did it that fast?
Probably.
No, say yes.
Yes.
I love Boulder.
I forget what they call that thing. The something clock.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
chat.
here?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all stopping by and hanging out late.
We've gone later.
We're winning the next 2 games. Book it.
Man.
We are winning the next 2 games. We're going to start with a home game and finally a home game in the afternoon.
The future is damn bright for this team, man. I can't stress it enough. Just have a little perspective.
Perspective, patience.
We're going to be okay.
But also we're winning the next 2 games. Fuck it.
There you go. Love to hear it. We'll be
Shout
back
out to
on
my shoes
Tuesday.
From Allison with the pregame show.
Everyone keeps asking about your hoodie, too. Did I say that on the air yet?
You didn't, but I'm gonna post a link to grab it.
It reminds me of like those splash hats that they used to drop.
And then it has like the mountains, like the kind of flat iron, like the decor in this room here.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's quite
All
nice.
right, it's 201, which is now 101.
See ya.
Love you, chat. Go Buffs.
Love you, chat. Go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
Alyssa, super dope producer.